Alright, welcome back to this morning's or afternoons or whatever time it is. 3 in the afternoon. I woke up super late this morning, or evening, or afternoon. Whatever. I didn't record last night, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and record 3 videos in one. So welcome back to today's 3 in a row. Sad realities. Also, we got one of my favorite revolvers right here. Guns or whatever. Is this a revolver? It's got 6 shots. It's basically a revolver. But yeah, so yesterday morning I heard something that kind of pissed me off in the morning, and I was like, okay, I'm making an entire video just on this. Kind of for 2 reasons. One, because it reminds me of COVID stuff and the media and all that, and then secondly, just because I was like, you know, this is something I feel like it's kind of worth or warrants talking about from the perspective of a 21-year-old that maybe doesn't often get talked about. And quite frankly, that is simply the whole Charlie Kirk nonsense, whatever, and it pisses me off that people, you know, the media can't stop talking about it, so I'm gonna do my part, talk about it a little bit here, you know, piss everyone off. But, my mom was talking on the phone, yesterday morning. I had a 10-hour shift that day, and, the way that went was, I was on the phone in the morning. It was like, what, 9:30, because yesterday was Sunday, and so our store's open from 10 till 7 instead of the usual, like 9 to 9. But, on the phone, and she was like, you know, there's something, like, that's just, like, wrong, or, like, something up with, like, all the young people nowadays, you know, like, the people 21, you know, 26, 22, whatever. Obviously, this is in reference to the shooter for the Charlie Kirk stuff, and I'm thinking, you know what's really interesting about that? Who are the people that raise the people like that? You know? Like, I understand, I'm not going to defend people in any way, for the things that they do. Like, I am just as much of an awful person as the next person, but I really don't like it when parents are like, man, I hate young people, and I'm thinking, you're the people that raise the young people, you know? Like, am I crazy for thinking that? Maybe that's a hot take, or whatever, but, like, by extension, just hear me out for a second, right? So, last October, my parents were, I'd say kind of abusive, but it was just abusive, just flat out. The stuff they were doing was pretty bad. In fact, there was a week where I didn't eat for pretty much 5, 6 days straight. 4 days. 3.5 days. I'm looking at my calendar here, I can't remember. I want to say it was 3.5 days. But, and that was because they just kept taking stuff away from me, like more and more stuff, and I was just like, okay, fine. Let's see who wins this battle of wits or whatever. Why was that? That's because, in their own words, they didn't want me in the house. They thought I was a loser. Or not, that's not in their words. But, well, actually it might have been, honestly. But a big part of it was, you know, I dropped out of college. I didn't really want to do college because I didn't believe in any of it, truthfully. I feel like there's so much that's just wrong with college, and it didn't really work out for me. I wasn't getting skills. I wasn't going anywhere in life. So my mom treated me like there was something wrong with me mentally, slowing her words down, whatever, and, like, started putting trash in my room so I wasn't doing enough to help us around the house, so she thought that was going to help in some way. And then, obviously, I just didn't talk to them for pretty much an entire month until the end where I was just like, okay, let's play a game, shall we? Jigsaw, I don't know. I never really watched, I can't remember what that movie's called, but the one with the pig and all that. I'm thinking Dead by Daylight because of internet brain rot. Which, speaking of brain rot, the bullet engravings, jeez, I've not been talking. I've been talking, but, like, the words are not coming out properly today. And that's fine, I guess. This is something that I was passionate about, and it may not always be the words that come out, but it's the general understanding that matters, so hopefully there is some level of, worthwhileness to this. Anyways, but so, the bullet engravings, or whatever, with the Charlie Kirk stuff, there was, like, a furry meme, there was, like, if you're reading this, you're gay, like, all that other just, like, dumb stuff, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this guy is internet filled, and, like, absolutely kind of brain rotted. But you know what, same, like, there's a lot that is wrong with me, too, and, it's funny, I kind of expected the media to take that out on a bunch of, like, different groups on the internet, or whatever, which we haven't seen so much, other than, obviously, like, the Helldivers reference, because I feel like that was the most popular thing. Like, oh yeah, let's get back to blaming this on video games and stuff. But, kind of my entire point in this is, the parents of stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I think it was the Utah chief of police, it was like his son or something like that, and keep in mind, this is from the perspective of someone that is incredibly uneducated, but wants to take the slightest, smallest guess that maybe parents weren't doing their job properly, having known my parents. But my parents, like, as soon as I got a job and started performing well and number 4 in the company, they'll be bragging about that to, like, other parents, just brownie points. And when I say parents, I mean just my mom. My dad's more like, good job, son, whatever. You know, it's like, I'm not even trying to read these, I don't really care. When there are more than 2 in it? Sure, that seems good. But the same people that are willing to treat you like dirt are willing to, like, praise you for, like, other things. And I guess that kind of makes sense, too. Like, you can't really blame them for, like, it's not like you don't want praise when you're doing things well. But why can't we treat people like humans all the time? You know? That's kind of my perspective on that. And I'm not, again, saying that any of the shooting or any of that's warranted, but where do the parents fall into that? Where do we click into place, you know? Because if y'all are the people raising the next generation, and this next generation is, so, excuse the language, but fucked up, completely, like, in the head, mentally, all these other things, whose fault is that, honestly? And I do, again, want to blame ourselves just as much as, you know, the parents want to, but accountability, you know? Gotta love that. So that was the first thing I really wanted to talk about today, was that, because I was thinking about that the entire day, and I was like, what do I title this video, you know? Because if, kind of extrapolating a little bit here, we create problems in the next generation in some way, whether it's the people we treated, or like, I'm even thinking of Incredibles, where the villain in the first Incredibles anyways was created by proxy of not really taking the kid seriously. So he's like, that is old villain arc. Kind of reminds me, I've got a work story as well from yesterday, because this one guy was pissed off by policy, even though we very much catered to him. So where do the adults fit into the equation, you know? Sorry, that was a lot. I'm kind of like taking a second to breathe now from all that. I like this game though, Gunfire Reborn, big fan of this. I've always been, like, really enjoyed this game. I'm playing on Elite difficulty just because I don't really want to think. This is kind of like mind-numbing to me. This is not hard difficulty or anything. In fact, I would say this is rather easy. I think I have like Ascension like 8 unlocked, and I think they added Ascension 10. I thought it used to be 9, but I saw that when I was re-opening the game after like 6 months or something. It's been. I thought I'd play this today because I felt like this game would be long enough for me to make not one, maybe 2, and maybe a 3rd video on it. We'll see. Just wanted to keep the videos going here because I'm behind schedule. And I'm also hoping I don't forget anything too when I'm talking about this, because I feel like every time I make a video I'm just like, oh man, there's a lot I need to talk about, and it doesn't happen. But I really hope that the best for this next generation as far as everything goes, you know? All sorts of evil stuff in the world, and I feel like the media really wants to capitalize on that, and hey, good for them, capitalism and all that, but it's kind of soul-rotting, if that makes sense. Like, the same reason I stopped watching the media back It Takes Two. Is this a reference? It's on level of the last chosen ascension. When picking it again, it destroys all It Takes Two. Interesting. Sure, why not? Where was I going with that? The focusing is so hard. I wish the best for this next generation, and really I feel like we need to do the best we can to sort of not fix things, but basically not break things. The most we can not break things, if that makes sense. There's never going to be a perfect, well, maybe eventually, but not soon, anyways. Never going to be perfect people and stuff, so one can certainly hope the next generation will do their best in the pursuit of all things good. So I think with that, that'll end it for today's Sad Reality, 3 p.m. I hope this was actually a good video. I feel like actually really good recording this, so I'm going to start recording right after this. So, yeah, have a good rest of your night, evening, day, whatever time it is, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, y'all.